it's like one spot to the next. Hey, can we just talk for a second? I'm not okay. I'm ready to feel better. And I can't even like fully say why I don't, except that I'm like not choosing to. And that sucks. I have been choosing to lately, but I need to choose more often. So let's get into it. The hood, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm gonna give you the book. I was feeling depressed. I'm on my period right now, and I'm one of them girls where, or traditionally, I have been one of those people that has been severely impacted emotionally by my body physically. And so my period every month has been a time where I will get in really deep episodes of not feeling like myself, not feeling as faith-filled or optimistic, of not feeling as positive, of wanting to distance myself from people. I got really diligent about noticing that at one point, and then I was very agitated by it. I was like irritated, and I was like, I cannot not be in control of myself every 3 weeks. So I was praying about it diligently and just being real on it about my period coming. And so hormones are going to be changing. And so let me make sure that how I'm praying about that is changing. So that way I am in a better space and feeling more in control of what I have going on. It worked for a long time. It works for a long, long time. But you add that with this season that I'm in of losing my job 8 months ago, of trying to figure myself out creatively. What am I doing here on YouTube? What am I doing on TikTok? How am I supposed to show up for myself, for my community? Everything is just changing. And so that is making me feel a whole bunch of feels. Nothing feels regulated right now. And so while I got my period regulated, everything else is not regulated. So what is regulation? What is normal? What is acceptable has changed during this time a lot. It has been real hood, real ghetto. When you are in a underdeveloped neighborhood, things are, you need stuff up to code that ain't up to code. It seems like stuff just running rampant. And so that has been the feel, like just a very vile space of me trying to exist, trying to do my best, trying to show up. And there are days when I let the system get to me. I let it take over. And I'm like, there's no better than this right here. There's not going to be anything developed. Newness cannot reach this space. Everybody that dwells right here dies right here in this same way. And I let that type of thinking and that type of mentality and the habits and the patterns that come with that mentality shape how I was existing. And in it shaping how I was existing, it was causing me to not fight for anything. I didn't want to fight for my faith. I didn't want to fight for friendships. I didn't want to fight for my creativity. I didn't want to fight for taking a shower every day. I didn't want to fight for cleaning up my space. I didn't want to fight to eat, to drink water, to run, to walk, exercise. They want to fight for anything. It really caused me to not even recognize myself at certain points. And then we get to the moments when it's just bad. And I got there last week. I got to that space where I'm like, okay, I don't like this, so I wouldn't call it good. So that makes it bad. But it could be worse. And that alone, that small moment of gratitude, like this could be worse. It could be me that didn't wake up this morning. It could be me that's in a worse predicament. It could be me that, you know, whatever. And because it's not, there is goodness that exists here. There is favor that exists here. There is grace that exists here. There is mercy that's been given to me. And all of that is something that I can use to propel me to the good thing that I'm hoping for. I can use it to propel me to prayer, propel me to eat, propel me to drink water, to take a walk. Maybe I can't run today. I can't give y'all miles on miles, but I can walk around the park and then bring it on back home. I can give you that. So it was enough to start to get me to be like, okay, we ain't in the ghetto, but we ain't found the mansion yet. This ain't it. And that piece of power that I feel I was able to recognize helps me to even be recording this right now. It helps me to be able to go to London and experience that. It helps me to, my housing situation is going to have to change soon, and so how I'm navigating that, my mindset is different than it would have been a month ago, let me tell you. And worry is just something I can't do right now. Like, I just don't feel that I can, because I'm like, well, things ain't good, but it's not the worst it could be. So if it's not the worst it could be, and this is not how I want to feel, but we ain't even at the worst part, then what am I worrying for? Because I'm not, it could be worse. And so since it's not worse, why worry? That is where I've been. But it has been ugly at points. Let me tell y'all, if I can keep it all the way funky. When your girl came back from London, I feel that I picked up my bags at baggage claim, and I picked up sorrow at baggage claim. Let me tell you, I got back to this apartment that I have been allowed to keep, where I've been allowed to pay all of my rent and my utilities, where I have been kept safe, where I have gas on my stove to be able to cook me some food. I got hot water for me to be able to take a shower. My clothes are kept in the closet. My hair has been able to be brushed in the bathroom. Like, all this stuff. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. And I sat in this apartment and I cried. And I was so upset, and I was bothered, and I was agitated, and I felt alone, and I felt abandoned, because my plan and how I saw my life going was washed away. And there was nothing I could do to get it back. And even with me going to the UK and coming back, everything isn't solved. And I knew that. That wasn't even a point of my trip. But I was on such a high with the trip, and I was able to not be in New York, to not be in my apartment. I didn't think about my woes and my lows. And so when I came back, it's like I took myself to an even lower place than I was before I left, because I realized that I was still here, even though still is relative. I just had a new experience. I connected with new people there. There was just my eyes were open to new possibilities, and I decided to come back and have one of the ugliest bouts of depression that I've had the whole 8 months since I was let go from my job. And that is not what the Lord says I have to experience. He doesn't promise that we're going to be void of problems in our walk on this earth, but our emotions, how those problems can make us feel, the power that we have over those emotions. There's plenty of guarantees on how that could work out, and I ignored all of them. I ignored reading my Bible. I ignored my community. I ignored praying. I ignored doing things that make me happy. Y'all know sometimes I bust out my coloring book and I hit that. Ain't colored a thing. I just didn't use any of my tools, and I was upset that things are not being built in this era. So what I am doing is recognizing I'm not claiming depression right now, even though I need to clean up my apartment. I'm not claiming depression, but I'm claiming that there are going to be times where I don't feel my best. There are going to be times where I think I don't have as much power as the moment before. There are going to be times where I would like more connection, or I would like more money. I would like more of a plan. And even in those times, I am powerful. Even in those times, there is a plan for me. Even in those times, I can be released to do dope things. And I'm claiming that for myself right now. Today, I don't feel 100%. I don't even feel like an 8. I don't feel like a 7. I feel like a 6 today. Yeah, I'll say 6.5 is my joy meter. And that 6.5 is better than the 4.5 that I felt yesterday. I felt 5 yesterday. It could have went either way. And by the end of the day, it became a 5.5 because I was putting more effort in to do what I gotta do. I started my period yesterday, and so there was plenty of moments where I was just laying there and I just felt in pain. I felt whatever. I didn't take a shower yesterday. I couldn't do it, but I did do some things that are productive, and I read yesterday. Somebody texted me. I actually texted them back. I watched an episode of a show that I've been enjoying and I wanted to watch. Shout out to my people, my Succession fans, Team Kendall all the way, period. I was able to, I sent some emails I needed to send. Like I did do some stuff. Was the most productive day ever? No, by any means. But that little bit, I watched a sermon, like those things helps me to be able to sit here. And today I got my clothes, I have showered, I'm going to go get a smoothie, I recorded a podcast episode, I'm recording this, like totally different from yesterday. And this is me at a 6.5. So imagine how I'm going to feel tomorrow, how I'm going to feel by the end of today. Because yesterday I was at a 5 and then I went up. So if I'm at a 6.5 right now, I could go up. And that is the thing about depression, the hood, the bad, and the ugly. All of it will try to trick you. Every stage will try to convince you that there isn't any better than this. That where you found yourself in that moment is the only place that exists. It's the only place that you'll be. And that there's nothing else that you can do to make anything else better. And so you might as well wallow. You might as well sit. You might as well not bathe. You might as well not eat. You might as well not respond to texts or calls. You might as well not pray, because there's nothing you can do to change your situation. That is the hood, the bad, and the ugly of depression. And what I'm finding, even in this space of some days I'm scared. There are some days where I'm nervous. There are some days where I don't know what the heck I'm doing, what the heck I'm talking about. And that's intimidating. There are days when I don't even know who I am, because everything around me and everything that I am is changing or is being exposed, and I'm learning new stuff about me, new stuff about New York, new stuff about this season, this era. And I'm like, whoa, I'm unprepared to be dealing with this. And even with all of that, I'm finding, discovering, and learning that there's good moments in this season, that there's power in this season, that there's impact that I can have, that there are discoveries to be made, that there are things to create, that there are people to connect with, even in this moment. There are places and countries to go to that I've never been to. There's food to eat that I've never eaten. There are recipes to make that I've never made. In this era, that it's possible for me to experience the joys of life, even in this thing that feels like a container. I'm reminded that containers have lids. And when you pop that lid off, there's circulation that you can get. The things that are supposed to stay in can now enter. And the things that are supposed to exit have a pathway to leave. But it all comes from taking the lid off, taking the cap off of what you can achieve, what you can experience, even in this moment. So I don't have no magic eraser where I can remove this season or where I can just change everything. Unfortunately, I have to go through what I'm going through, and it's something that I'm supposed to get in this era. But it's helping me to get to know me better, get to know God better, be able to experience my creativity in a new way, and the things that I'm able to express, the places that I'm able to go, and the newness that is unfolding in this time will impact me for the seasons to come. It will impact the people that are connected to me for the seasons to come, and it would not have been able to be achieved, felt, or experienced without this moment. That is the good side. That is the impact. That is the point of it all. That there is something birthed, there is something that is released, there is something that is tapped into, that this era activates. It activates it. And once it's activated, there's no deactivating. It's going to actualize. God's going to make sure that what you're supposed to get is got 10 by the time this whole thing is wrapped up. But you can make sure you don't get it by choosing to focus on the hood, the bad, and the ugly sides of depression, and by deciding that those are the only sides that exist, by deciding that this moment at all will be the complete narrative and the complete arc of your life's story. What I'm claiming and deciding today, and what I hope happens for you, is that you decide that even with the hood, even with the bad, even with the ugly, there are good parts to this story, that this path that you're on is worth journeying, and that your faith is being made complete in this moment. That when you feel weak, God is strong, and God is always available to us. And so we are made like him, and if he is available to us, then we too can be strong even in this moment. That's it. I hope this has been helpful. I'm gonna keep y'all updated on what's going on with me, because it is truly, something's happening and I can see some of it. Some of it I can't see, and I'm like, God, help your girl out with seeing what the heck is going on right now. But I know it. Like, when you are allowing yourself to sit in it, you can see, like, all right, something's happening. I don't fully understand how the happenings all gonna happen together to make some sense, but something is happening. You won't be able to ignore that. And that is what's taking place for me. Something's happening, and God's doing something, and I'm becoming a new me, at a pace and with certain traits that are so new that I sometimes can get tricked into thinking that I'm falling apart when I'm being put together. And if you can relate to anything that I've said during this video, then that is the same for you. It's happening right before your eyes. And even as you open your eyes, even as faith-filled, as faith-filled as you can be in this season, there are going to be some things that simply because you're not God, you still won't be able to put together. But having trust enough in him that he is the divine architect, that he knows what he's doing. And as he's building the particles of your life together, it will make something that is so beautiful that will only be able to be pointed back to him, that you'll have so much joy from, that this will be just a blimp in the story. It's just a chapter in the complete narrative of your life. And that enough is worth staying in the fight for. So I love you guys. I hope this has been helpful. As always, if you want to connect, you can hit me up on my social links down below. Let me know what you guys are experiencing, if you are going through any moments of depression, if there are any other things with job loss or with being a podcast host and speaker, creator that I can share with you guys during this time. Be sure to let your girl know, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Okay, bye.